Years ago, maybe 8 years ago, Michael Furman had another string quartet come in, and he had a similar idea, and he asked me to choreograph and perform for that. That was the Mercyhurst String Quartet from San Francisco. So we had done that, and everything went really well. And from that experience, he felt comfortable inviting us along again. But this time he wanted to make it a little bit different in that the music was composed by Dr. Glinsky, and he also wanted to get the art department involved with Dan's work. So there was a different twist to it. So we started talking about it in the summer. We met again later in the summer, bounced some ideas around. I got a copy of the music. We just kind of took it from there. Albert had mentioned what inspired him to write the music and the images that came to his mind. But as far as the choreography goes, I was more concerned with the collaboration with Dan Burke, and because the things that he's bringing to the table was all visual, and that was going to influence what we did visually with the choreography. The dancers we are using are members of our company, SoMar Dance Works. So even though they are all Mercyhurst students, the dancers we are using are members of SoMar Dance Works.
We have a lot of brainstorming that we do together, and sometimes it's really casual. It just happens in our home, or it happens on the way to work, or it happens here in the studio. Sometimes it really just varies. It's not stagnant at all. It can't be. I mean, it's something that's alive, and therefore it keeps shifting. So the face of it is always as evolving and changing.
We videotape and we record. We record clips, so maybe we don't use it for this dance, maybe we'll use it for the next one. But so it's give and take. Sometimes it goes really well, sometimes it doesn't. But there's that old adage: two heads are better than one. If I'm having an uncreative day, I hope Solveig isn't. Or vice versa, or that the dancers, if I get to a point where I'm stuck, it's like, what do we do here? And I explain my thought process, and somebody will make a suggestion. It's like, great, let's try it, and it keeps things moving along. I asked Dan if he could make some larger birds that we could manipulate, and we ended up putting them on PVC poles, so we can kind of carry them around and fling them around a bit, and he very graciously did that, and they turned out quite nice, and they're working really well. We've worked with props for years, and so that's not new territory. I mean, perhaps not birds on a stick, but we've worked with props before.
But I wanted to work with birds on a stick.
Birds on a stick.
Yeah.
Oh yes, you're right.
I had an idea for a children's book, and so this was actually something that I had wanted to play around with. It may be not in quite the same way, but it was kind of nice that it did happen. Yeah.
Right, I remember. Dan had also mentioned, and I was a little hesitant at this at first, but he had mentioned the idea of incorporating the ballet bars, so like we could perch on top of them, like his birds perch on top of branches and wires and things, and I thought, well, while we were in the studio, let's give this a try. It's hard to perch on a single bar, unless you are a bird. But I thought, well, you put two bars next to each other like parallel bars, and then you have, you can get both feet on there. So that opened up a variety of movement options, and that we explore. The arts are very strong at Mercyhurst, and I wish people would remember that, liberal arts, arts is half of it, right there, liberal arts. So. True,
and I do think it's exciting to have these different departments coming together, and I think it's important for not only for the community, but also for the students to see that kind of exchange and interaction. And these are going to be some of the kinds of projects that they'll have the opportunity to experience and participate in them in their professional lives, and so to be able to have this kind of a student-faculty research in terms of our company members is pretty terrific. So it's been a joy.